Hi, I'm Ying. Today we're not going to cook, but I'm going to teach you how to cut. You're probably wondering, who doesn't know how to cut? But cut your meat and vegetables correctly not only affects the presentation, cooking time, but also the taste, believe it or not. So I'm going to first show you how to cut vegetables. I know some of you want to use different cutting tools, make it easier. That's fine if that's what you want. I like to use knife because it's easy to clean. I'm lazy. But anyway, so besides I gave you a couple of tips, a good knife is very important, of course. So first I'm going to show you how to cut carrots. This is something a lot of people have trouble to cut it right. Sometimes you cut like circle like this, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to show you a different way to cut them. When I cut my vegetables, people are always wondering how I did it. So here's how. And we're going to cut a piece of carrots like I did a chunk, about maybe, about an inch in length. And then we're going to cut one slice on the side and then put this down. It's not only stabilized, but also cut a nice even slices. And it's different. The reason I say cutting is so important about your cooking, affect your cooking time. And so you want your vegetables don't cook too long. Stir fry especially is supposed to be fast and quick and easy. And if high speed and high heat. So if you cook too long, your vegetables you're gonna have cook a lot of water out of the vegetables, and then that won't be good. So you want to cut them fairly thin, and that's easy way to do it. So just take a little bit of practice, but it's not hard. So I'm going to put this in this bowl, but I'm also going to show you how to cut thin slices. Like I said again, if you want to, you can use food processor, I'm sure, or cut some kind of cutting tools. So we're going to cut about 2 inches long. And then same, we just cut one slice first and then put that flat surface on the cutting board. Then we're going to cut more thin slices. So you do need to be careful. Then we're going to hold my fingers like this. My knuckles hold it like this, so it won't cut my fingertip. And then we're going to just cut them into thin strips. Fairly easy, right? It's pretty simple. And do need a little practice. So nothing can be perfect without practice, right? So that's my strips. But also I'm going to show you another way of cutting vegetables, have a little diamond shape. So I'm just going to cut, let's say zucchini or carrots, either one. You cut them at an angle into 1-inch chunks, like that. Then we're going to cut them like this shape. See the diamond shape? And Chinese people, when they cook, is very important how it looks, not only the taste. But of course, this is not as important. Just in case you want to learn how to make it presentation a little bit nicer, this is how to do it. But the most important is don't cut them too thick, because it just increases your cooking time, and your vegetables may be mushy. Let me do another one. And then you can also lay this down too. So just cut even slices. I mean thickness, so the cooking time will be the same. And you pretty much can cut any vegetables like that. And like I said, we're going to try some cabbage. I know you could probably say, I know how to cut a cabbage. Sure you do. But like I mentioned earlier, if you want to cut your vegetables or meat make sure you cut it thin. Okay, meat you can partially freeze it. Vegetables you have to just make sure you practice. Okay, and you also have a pair of good knives will definitely help. So well, I'm just gonna cut the slices. And we're done. See, then you can do use a soup, stir fry, or cold salad. So it's just very easy to cut. Just practice a little and also have a good knife. Okay, and let me show you how to cut a potato. Let's cut potatoes. You know, growing up in northern China, we eat potatoes all the time. There's one dish we use potatoes to cut them into thin strips. Then we stir fry with maybe some chili pepper. It's really good and very simple dish, but it's awesome. So I'm going to show you how to cut. Of course, you can use some kind of tool to cut it, but I love to cut. You know why? Because this is a stress relief. Besides it's a little exercise also. You know, and plus if you know how to do it, it will shows you, you know, your knife skills. So we'll just cut into thin slice first. Here we go. And then we're gonna make them all line up at an angle, so it won't be, you know, hard to cut. So all line up. And I'll just see, these are thin strips. I don't like to use other cutting tools than knife. For a simple reason, I'm lazy. I don't want to wash them, clean them. This knife is the easiest way to clean. And also, if you get a bad day, this will help you to get out of your frustration. Chop something, okay? So, I hope you learned something from today, and go home and practice. Practice is the key for everything, right? Cutting meat right is much more important than vegetables. So now I'm going to show you how to cut a chicken breast. First, of course, we want to cut the fat out. And chicken breast, you know, I've used to see people cutting them into big chunks when they do stir fry. What's wrong with that? Because chicken breast kind of easy to dry out, and if you cut in big chunks, and then they take a long time to cook through. By the time you're done cooking, the chicken probably pretty dry. So I want to show you cut them into thin slices. But like I said, you don't have to do thin slices as long as you can cut them thin. And you can partially freeze it, make it easier to cut thin. And you can cut thin strips like this, or slices. But I'm going to show you right way to cut it and make it nicer and bigger slices. See that? So like I said, it's not hard, just need a little bit practice. So we're going to cut against the grain. And if it's too big, you can cut it into small slices. And like I said, this will cut your cooking time, and your meat will be still tender. Of course, I will teach you next time how to tenderize your chicken. But today we're just going to show you how to cut. And you do the same with beef. So this is too big, and then we're just going to cut it to a little smaller. So you should hold your knife at angle, and 45 degrees angle, and then just cut them. Make sure your knife is sharp. And do practice a little. I've been cutting for a long time, so it looks easy, but it should be fairly easy. So I hope you learned something about cutting today, and we'll see you next time.